When you think about diversity, equity, and inclusion and mental health, they're not always generally connected. People leave out the diversity conversation because diversity is used very narrowly. And when we start looking at the factors of stress levels that come from folks that are on the margins, when you look at folks that are in social scenarios that have different socioeconomic statuses, look at folks with different racial statuses, gender differences, and you add all the other marginal groups into that conversation, the stress levels statistically are much higher for those groups. And the more stress exposure you have, then the higher level of mental exposure, mental health challenges that you are supposedly going to have. And so there's a direct line. And in fact, if you start looking at the risk factors for suicide, it's a direct correlation between those that we're trying to add a different culture for them on our project sites, and for those that we're trying to create a different culture for to stay on our project sites. So no matter what you do, whether it's a diversity lens, whether it's a mental health lens, the solutions are psychological safety, and they're the same. And that's the bridge of inclusion for us. Psychological safety, which is starting to take prominence over the last couple of years since the pandemic, has made it okay for folks to feel like it's okay to talk about not being okay while at work. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to pick up the phone. It feels like it's 150,000 pounds to pick up the phone. But what they have found is that if a peer, if somebody you care about and you know cares about you, asks you and walks you through it, you're more likely to engage in that support. It's an imperative conversation for our productivity. It's an imperative conversation for the livelihoods of those men, women, and others that work on our project sites. And it's an imperative conversation for all of us that, whether they're on a job site or not, who are working in our industry, who are dealing with the same stresses of life every day. And I think it would transcend any industry, but it's certainly specific needs that are certain specific challenges that construction has that we really have to address. And so that's why it's important to me that we address this in this industry.